Hey everyone, welcome Booster Tutor. I'm Brandon, and our Devastation pre-release is almost here, and we are back in black. That's right, our last color, black. Doing top 10 comes uncommons, then some rare mythic talk, and sadly, black is not that great. As we can see with our number 10, Lurching Rot Beast. 3 in a black for a 4/2 zombie beast, cycling 1 black. Well, that's boring. 4 mana for a 4/2, that's not great, but I mean, 4 power can do some damage and can take out a lot of things. Cycling for 1 black is nice. That's all I got. I mean, you'll run it if as a curve filler, and sometimes you'll cut it if you have anything better. Number 9, Marauding Bone Slasher. 2 in a black for a 3/3 zombie minotaur. It can't block unless you control another zombie. I mean, 3 mana for a 3/3 is fine. It does have a downside, though, which is odd. It is a zombie, so that's a plus. If you have another zombie, it can actually block. I wouldn't cut it for that. I mean, in a black deck, I'd probably still run this, even if I don't have any other zombies, because 3 mana for a 3/3 attacking, that's always fine. Number 8, Merciless Eternal. 2 in a black for a 2/2 zombie cleric. Has Afflict 2. It's whenever this creature becomes blocked, the defending player loses 2 life. And it has the ability of 2 in a black, discard a card. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Alright, 3 mana for a 2/2. Has Afflict, which is always nice. And then has a threat of activation of it just getting a +2/+2, maybe even 4+4/+4. I mean, it's not bad. It's a little slower than I would like, but hey. It can do some damage and, you know, plays a little bit of mind games during combat. So, number 7. Vile Manifestation. 1 in a black for a 0/4 horror. It gets +1/+0 for each card with cycling in your graveyard. Cycling 2. Alright, so 2 mana for a 0/4. But, I mean, sometimes you just have random cycle cards. So I kind of see this as 2 mana for a 2/4. That's not bad, actually. And then it has cycling for 2. So you can always cycle away if it's just not going to be good enough, or you don't have any cycling in your graveyard yet, and you're like, well, this is just a 0/4. So, I mean, it's cheap, it blocks well, and it can potentially become pretty big. So, number 6, Dunefall. 2 in a black for sorcery. Choose 1. Target opponent exiles a creature he or she controls. Or target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it, exile that card. Alright, 3 mana for sorcery that either makes them sacrifice their worst creature, which is what usually happens, or, you know, you get to take any non-land card from their hand and just exile it. So I like that it's any non-land, so you get creatures, spells, whatever. The sacrifice ability, it's fine. I mean, like I said, it's going to be the worst creature, but it is going to be a creature. The fact that it has these 2 modes makes it very efficient. 3 mana is a little higher than I'd like, but still going to play this. Number 5, Accursed Horde. 3 in a black for a 3/3 zombie. Pay 1 in a black. Target attacking zombie gains indestructible until end of turn. Alright, 4 mana for a 3/3. That's always fine. Its ability, I mean, you can just use it on itself. So it's just attacking and just not dying. And if you have multiple zombies, oh, it's just crazy. I mean, you can just keep paying for it. And all your zombies, indestructible. Really good card. Like I said, I'd play it on its own. But if you have multiple zombies, it gets just higher up. Yeah. Number 4, Ruin Rat. 1 in a black for a 1/1 rat. Has Death Touch. And when it dies, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Alright, so I'm a sucker for these rats. I love me a 2 mana 1/1 Death Touch just because early game, it stops people from attacking. Like, they could have a 2/2 and they're like, oh, I don't want to lose this guy. I'm going to hold back. You're like, okay, whatever. And then late game, I mean, they have like a 5/5 and they can't attack into your 1/1 because it's just going to die. So that's why I love these, because early game, late game and sealed, always good. This one has an upside where when it dies, then you get to exile a card from the graveyard, which, I mean, maybe you'll hit an Eternalize or an Embalm creature. Maybe they have nothing you need for it to hit. Whatever, it's all gravy anyway. So, and our number 3 card is Lethal Sting. 2 in a black for sorcery. As an additional cost to cast it, put a -1/-1 counter on a creature you control. Destroy target creature. Okay, so 3 mana, sorcery speed, to destroy a creature. Always great. I'll take that. Late game, gonna kill something big. Early game, you know, kill whatever you want. The -1/-1 counter, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's going to hurt. But if you're like a black-green deck, you're taking a lot of -1/-1. You probably have ways to deal with it, so it's not too bad. I'm going to run this in any black deck because giving your creature -1/-1 and then destroying their creature, totally worth it. Number 2, Torment of Venom. 2 black for an instant. Put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature. Its controller loses 3 life unless he or she sacrifices another non-land permanent or discards a card. Alright, 4 mana, instant speed, -3/-3. That's going to kill a lot of things. After combat, something took damage, you're going to kill it off. You're just going to give something a bunch of -1/-1 counters, and they're going to take damage or, sacrifice something or lose a card. It's just a lot of things going on there, and I really like all of them. So that's why it's number 2. It's actually the instant speed. So nice. Our number 1 black common or uncommon, Bane Whip Punisher. 2 and a black for a 2/2 human warrior. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Pay 1 black, sacrifice it, destroy target creature that has a -1/-1 counter on it. Ooh, 3 mana for a 2/2, that's fine. That ability though, I mean, put 1/1 counter on something, you could just kill something small, and then you can destroy any creature with a -1/-1 counter on it. I mean, there's plenty of cards that give -1/-1 counters, so you have your choice of a tons of creatures of theirs. Just put 1/1 counters on and then kill it. So, and just like it just sits there and they're just waiting for you to use it. Like you could block with it and then use it. It's just so good. So good. All right, let's talk about these rares and mythics. Mythix Eternal. Okay, yeah, I like this. 3 mana for 5/5. That sounds pretty efficient. It has a flick 3. That's good. Now, it gets -1/-1 counter every time your opponent casts a spell. So let's say you play this for 3 on their turn 4. They're probably going to play at least, I'm guessing at most actually. It's usually going to be like 1 spell. So it's become a 4/4. You're going to attack with a 4/4 for 3. Yeah, that's pretty good. And if they do block it, they still take 3. And if they take combat damage, which I don't see them doing often, you remove all the -1/-1 counters. So it's not just one -1/-1, it's all of them. That's very cool. Flick, sadly, isn't combat damage, so it doesn't work that way. But who cares? It's still a good card. Gonna run in any black deck. Apocalypse Demon. Ooh, Apocalypse Demon. You're almost so good, but that sacrifice a creature or tap it just kills you. I mean, yeah, this thing could be huge, but if you do not have enough creatures, this thing is worthless. So, I don't know. Like, do you run it? Maybe. Depends on your deck. Do you have a ton of creatures that you want to get rid of? If you have like a ton of Eternalize or Embalm, yeah, I can see that. But it's not a slam dunk right away, I'd have to say. Bantu's Last Reckoning. Ooh, this is a hard one. 3 mana Wrath, but you don't untap all your lands the next turn. Like, that's going to be, you have to play like around this situation. Like, you have 3 mana open. Yeah, you're never going to play on turn 3. What am I talking about? This is like you're behind and you need anything to clear the board. You play this. It's just like it's your plan B, basically. I'd say you probably run it, some of the time, maybe not all the time, but it's just a nice little backup plan. But that don't untap your lands does hurt. So, yeah. Dream Stealer. Ooh, I don't like the 3 mana for 1/2 so much. I mean, at that point in the game, a 1/2 with Menace is going to get blocked pretty easily. Now, a 4/4 with Menace, and then when it does hit, they have to discard 4 cards. That's pretty good. I would definitely run this in a black deck. I just don't like that 3 mana for a 1/2. Ugh, that's not good. But, I mean, if you have pump spells or something, yeah, it's much better. Hour of Glory, yeah, you're going to run that no matter what. It's removal, instant speed, and it exiles. Oh, that's just 4 mana, who cares? I mean, that's just really good. And it has, the God thing, but really, I mean, if you do that to someone, you're jacked up. That's pretty good. Razza the Foul-Blooded. Okay, so I mean, technically there's no downside to him, but 8 mana and 3 of it black, that's really hard. I mean, that's pretty close to unplayable. I mean, maybe if you're a mono black deck that can ramp somehow. I don't know. I mean, 8 mana or an 8/8 trample flying, that's really good. And its ability, yeah, that's pretty good too. But yeah, that's a high cost. I don't think you actually run this guy. It's kind of like Grizzlebrand where it's really hard to run him. So maybe if your deck can handle it, you run him, but yeah. Torment of Hellfire. See what they did there. This one, yeah, does it do enough? I mean, you're gonna have to put a lot of mana into that to actually do enough. And yeah, I just don't like it that much. Probably wouldn't run this unless I have a mana wrap deck, then maybe. But yeah, not a big fan of this card. All right, there we go. We're done with the rare mythics, and we're done with all the colors. So hopefully my ramblings here help you out a little bit at your pre-release. I'm going on my midnight one. I have to work the next day, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I love the midnight ones. They're just so much hype in the air. Always so fun. If you want to follow me on Twitter, booster_tutor, and see you next draft.